Hi everyone, this is Oma here, and today I'm walking through the Google UX certification. So I started this course recently, this program recently, and before I started, I kind of wondered why Google estimated it for 3 to 6 months. I couldn't really figure it because there were a lot of reviews on the internet, but nothing really solid to guide me in more depth about the course. So before I started the certification, I checked the internet. I searched for some direction, something that could make me understand what the content of the course is like. And I didn't really find anything that does that. Most of what I found was just reviews, do's and don'ts, should you take it, why you need it, next steps, and all those things. So this video is mostly to um, help walk you through module by module what to expect in this course, not to detail the actual content because you still need to take the course to understand, right? But to walk you through module by module what to expect and stuff like that. And hopefully, it becomes the guide a designer out there needs to um, fill some knowledge gap, do some extra learning, especially if you cannot really afford the course. But whether you're to take the course or not, this should give you some insight to get started on your career. So let's get right into it. So this is like the first module. The first module just talks you through the course, um, welcoming you to the course, beginning videos. So you get a lot of videos, getting started, obtaining, get a lot of videos, and in between the videos, you get like what's it called again? A lot of tasks, surveys, assessments that you have to complete, and when you complete it, just takes you to the next step. So some of them are um mandatory, while some are just like an extra to help you like get better knowledge. And it's going to be like up to you to take some. But towards the end of the program, there's like a more complex portfolio project that you have to work on. And it's like mandatory because like you're going to get reviewed by a peer. That's like a fellow person taking the course. So yeah, getting right back into it, we have like so in the first module, that's introduction to UX design. You go through like basics, go through like jobs, careers, um, just different things to build your understanding, right? Working in a cross-functional team role, and in between, different designers from Google just like share their stories, share how they got into UX. And I believe the purpose of this is to make you understand that this US thing is not rocket science. People started like sometimes by chance, by luck. So it's supposed to be like more of an encouragement because a lot of people share their stories, UX design career journey. So yeah, this is like the part about assignments that are not graded. This is like an example. You just have to like enter something. It's mostly to keep track of how active you've been in the course in the program, but those ones don't determine like your final result or your final output. So again, the first module mostly just introduces you to things like the basics, jobs, to basically help you understand the journey, like to decide if you even want to be a UX designer or not. All right. So at at the end of each module, you also like get a glossary of terms that were used. And in the second um, module, the same thing. It's like a week by week thing. You're expected to complete one module per week. But I mean, if you just lock in for like 1 month or a or so you should be able to like finish everything, but it's mostly flexible for people who have like other jobs and things that they're doing. So yeah, module two starts to introduce you to accessibility, equity, focused design, a lot of terms, and also getting from the accessibility part, you start getting into the user-centered parts, talking about users, talking about assistive technologies, and more. I think this area is more around introducing you to all parts of accessibility, like all rounds of accessibility, right? And you also like do a graded assignment. I think this one is actually like mandatory. Get to uh complete, because for every module, so every module has different um assessments. Like I mentioned earlier, some are mandatory and some are not. But at the end of every module, you're prompted to take these graded assignments, right? And these graded assignments actually just help you like think through what you've done in the entire modules, like bringing together different concepts from the entire module. You can actually to like self-reflect, can actually to like answer multi-choice questions. And I can like get into those, like I mentioned, I won't be going into like details or just content structure overall. So this is the module three, and the module three in the first course um, starts to introduce you to UX design frameworks, you know, how to interpret UX business requirements, introducing you to things like how you empathize with users, how you define their needs, how you ideate solutions, like the entire design thinking process. All right. So it introduces you to through videos and readings, and getting down to module three. We're still on module three. We have like introduction to design sprints that talks about how design sprints happen within a team. So like modules in the course, another graded module. Personally, I made sure to like go through all the modules, like the ones I mean all the ones that like popped up and everything, because I feel like, I mean, what's the reason taking a course if you're going to like skip it over? No knowledge is a waste, right? I always make sure to like go through everything because I need as much knowledge as possible. So getting into the fourth module, as you can see, the fourth module kind of introduces you to UX research. Now it's important to know that these are like high level details, right? The power of UX research, you know, talking about processes and everything. But they are mostly high level details about UX research, not exactly that you finish this program and then you like 100% like UX research. A lot of practice, a lot still has to go into it even after taking this course. So this is just high level introducing the foundations, right? From the second course, it starts to go into more details on UX research, on more details in the UX design processes and stuff. So the foundation is just introducing you to UX design. And I believe this is the phase where you're supposed to decide, is it going to be UX design or not, right? Helping you understand different terminologies. If at this phase you don't find it interesting, then probably should understand that UX design is probably not your thing and move on. So the second course starts to introduce the UX design processes, because I mean the UX design career is built heavily on these processes and everything, right? It starts to introduce the define, ideate, empathize, and all those steps. Talks about how you can craft user stories, how you can consider edge cases. Also gives a lot of examples. And module three starts going in more depth on like specific use cases for defining user problems, right? So how you create problem statements, how you create hypotheses and goal statements, differentiating these terms, because these are things you're going to come across and you don't want to get confused when you do. So determine a value proposition. And again, it has like a test, right? You have like a glossary um, to that defines like the different things within the course, and you have like one graded assignment. And it's important to know, but it's important to note that you have to actually pass like there is certain assessments like this one's that timed, like give you like a time limit. You have to actually get over 80 to advance to the next step. And if you fail it like twice, right, you get to wait 24 hours before moving to the next. And welcome to module 3. So this is module 3 of the Start the UX Design Process and Empathize course. So the module 3 starts to introduce you to the define stage. That's the second stage of the UX design process. Like the um, first module gave a high level detail on these processes. The second module introduces you to like the understand phase where you create problem statements, goal statements, hypothesis statements, and the third phase kind of now introduces you to the define phase, right, where um, you get to learn more about how you define problems. And the fourth is ideating solutions. So it touches on how you ideate design solutions. Say these problems have been defined. You have like everything you need in the define phase. The third phase is to move to the ideation. So the module 4 in the second course talks about this, talks about research, different ideation techniques like crazy eights and Scamper and its likes. And what else? I think that's kind of high level what the module 4 for the second course is about. So rapid sketching to the next course. Let's see. So the next course is about building wireframes and high fidelity prototype and low fidelity prototype. Sorry. So that's the one that I just completed. Uh, what's this blocking my screen? Let's see. So yeah, so it just introduces you to like the other phase. The first course has introduced you to like the foundation. The second course introducing the design processes from the understand phase to the define phase to the ideate phase. So this build wireframes and low fidelity prototypes is kind of more cumbersome. It's like beyond defining things, right? This one is like 3 modules, right? So this introduces the course and introduces the concept of prototypes, like I mentioned. Also, that's if I've mentioned it before, I mentioned a lot of things. All right. There are readings, there are videos, there are practice assessments, there are like pop-up quizzes, like different things in between these programs. Like if you check this subtext, you see like video reading, a practice assignment, think there are others. Yeah, this one's mostly video reading practice assignments. But yeah, so this the first course, the first module in the third course, which is like build wireframes and low fidelity prototypes, talks about talks about storyboarding, wireframing the process, and then in between you still see videos of different people sharing their like lots of Google designers, visual UX researchers have shared their stories in the course of this program and learn more about creating storyboards. This is part of the first module. So the drawing your first wireframes. Okay, let me just talk through this. I mean, high level through this. So, outlining a user flow, that's using a user flow to create wireframes, how you create user flows. There are videos and readings for that, and then there's storyboarding, introduces you to creating storyboards, starts with storyboards, and walks through the process of creating storyboards. And what's the next thing? These are just different things around creating storyboards. And then drawing your first wireframe starts with drawing wireframes on paper, and then um, down to like drawing like the digital wireframing. So this part, it's mostly talking about why you need a wireframe, drawing wireframes, and the activity here is like creating storyboards for your project. So I forgot to mention, if you've gotten to this phase, that means you must have picked what's it called again, a topic or a solution you want to design for your portfolio project. So in the second module, I was prompted to select a module portfolio topic that I would want to build. So I selected an app that allows you to find things quickly in grocery stores, because like it came from like a personal challenge I get. Walmart is so large. Like I literally don't know where to find things, even with those like big banners and stuff. But yeah, it's still in progress, by the way. So pick a portfolio project, and these wireframes, this process, you're supposed to follow along with your own portfolio project. So you, let's say you picked something similar to mine. To the wireframe stage, in the understand phase, you do your own research, try to understand why this is an issue, and in the define phase of the course, you follow along, try to define the goal statements, the hypothesis statement, according to like the structure that they've put you through. And then in the um, build wireframes and low fidelity, like creating storyboards, creating wireframes, and all those things, you're expected to follow along, right? To start preparing your own portfolio projects, so that by the end of it, you have like a full, well structured case study that has like all the details that you've gone through in this, and it's also supposed to help you like practice what you learn. So at the end of it, you have also like a graded assessment, and what's it called again? The second module. So the second module talks about I think it's mostly still around around wireframes, but it kind of now start going into details about wireframes. Personally, I've been in design for a while, but I didn't know there was so much depth to wireframes. You know, creating paper wireframes, I used to just sketch like really rough sketches, but with going through this course, I figured there are like more structured ways to actually do this thing. Just like it can be pretty time consuming, but yeah. Uh, so this in the third course, the second module introduces you to creating paper and digital wireframes. In the video, like I saw examples of how the instructor created paper wireframes, mapped out structures, and I was able to like follow along. And then it introduced you to Figma. This is the phase where you get introduced to Figma, and there's a video to like create a Figma account. As you can see, this is first of all uh, an old video. Figma has changed its interface entirely. So many new things that I've even had to like learn from Figma's YouTube that is not covered here. So it felt like a waste of time. So if you're still at the basic level, you might want to just go through it and like follow along for your portfolio project. That's why again I mentioned it's like very basic level if you're getting started, right? So I skipped over that one, and again I cannot go through these courses. But yeah, how you structure elements, which would help in turn for when you like start doing the actual designs. And then there's also like the glossary part and the grading part, creating digital wireframes. So yeah, there's a lot of details, like so many things that, like if you did not know about digital wireframes and you get to this page with all the resources, like it even has like a lot of additional links, examples, documents, and different things to actually help you get up to speed. So yeah, we have like the module three. So the module three moves from wireframes, paper wireframes, digital wireframes down to like low fidelity wireframes. Oh, sorry, low fidelity prototypes. Now starts showing you, right, more ways to like create paper prototypes, like low fidelity, um, teaching you the concept, teaching you prototyping tools, um, and goes back to Figma to show you how to make low fidelity prototypes in Figma. It's like 11 minutes. Pretty detailed. So, Costray glossary. So, yeah, start the next course. And the next course is mostly around UX research. And I think I started it, but not really doing anything much. It's really like the first module. But yeah, this one is supposed to high level introduce you to UX research, how you plan it, how you structure it, how you get started. Like I mentioned while I was working through it, the videos use examples to walk you through what it's like. It has like a lot of details for a beginner to like introduce them. Shouldn't confuse or overwhelm someone who's just starting out, right? So if you want to see like the last four courses, which I'm going to like probably walk through, this is like my first walkthrough, and I'm hoping it's not as bad. I tried to just talk through it as much as I could. I tried to just talk through it as much as I could and not go into the course in detail. But my aim was so you could see like the different structure, the different trajectory of how they put it together. And that kind of helps you, understand the structure, the things you should learn. If you want to see the entire course, if you want to see everything, just subscribe to my channel and be on the lookout. It's gonna be like a second video. All right, thank you. Bye.